Chapter 15 begins on page 997. We are heading into the home stretch, people. We have 2 chapters left in our textbook, chapters 15 and 16. They will go together. They are part of a large graphing project you will complete, which will be due in June. You should have all the materials that lay out all the requirements for the project. Chapter 15 has a tremendous amount of vocabulary. Starting with 15.1, this is all the vocabulary you need just for this section. There are about 25 vocabulary words. You're going to need to study these vocabulary words in order for them to make sense. So on 998, where it begins for this section, you need to stop the video and read the page. Go over the words. Ask me questions in class. We will go over these, but you need to read them yourself. I'm not going to read the page to you. All the words in bold are vocabulary words you need to know. We will complete problem 1 in class. This is going to be a group project. Right now, we're going to work on problem 2. So problem 2, when you asked your classmates which clubs they were interested in, you were collecting data. This type of data is called a survey. A survey is one method of collecting information about a certain group of people by asking them a statistical question or set of statistical questions. Let's consider the topic of school lunches. You can ask many statistical questions that can be answered by a survey. For example, what's the most popular lunch served at our school? What are 2 additional questions that could be answered by conducting a survey about school lunches? For example, you could ask, which lunch do 6th graders prefer? That would be a statistical question. Another one could be, which students like the salad bar? Running out of room. Question mark. Whenever you have a question and you collect the data, answer it by performing a test, you are performing an experiment, just like science class. Experiments test something to determine a specific result. Experiments have been a staple of discovering scientific results. Experiments have answered numerous questions scientists have asked, such as how many types of spiders build webs, how many fish do dolphins eat per day. Why is each of the questions a statistical question? Because you have to go and find the answer. You have to take a survey. You have to do the test. So I want you to write answers found by completing an experiment. Question number 3, I want you to write 2 statistical questions that you can answer through conducting an experiment. This is something you would have to go perform a survey, not something you can go Google and find the answer, because Google wouldn't have these answers. So for number 3, write 2 statistical questions for an experiment. Okay, final page in this section. Determine if each question shown is a statistical question. If not, explain why it is a statistical question, then rewrite it to make it a statistical question. Number 1, how tall are you to the nearest inch? This is not a statistical question. Because you can just measure yourself and find the answer. You don't have to perform the experiment. To change that up, you could write how tall is the average sixth grader in our school. Google doesn't know that answer. You could compare the results to a national norm. About how many text messages do sixth graders send each day? That is a statistical question. You'd have to perform a survey, go find the answer. Might be a good one to find out. What is our school mascot? Not statistical. It's a tiger. Done. You could change it to what is the most popular school mascot. Number 4, do boys or girls spend more time playing video games? That is a statistical question. Stat question. And number 5, how many students bring their lunch in reusable bags? That also, you could perform an experiment. Okay, that's chapter 15, section 1. Once again, you've got to study your vocabulary. You've got to read that over. It's understanding what the words mean, because we're going to be using all of this vocabulary in future sections.